Make no mistakes, cause he's perfect. Every step I take for his service. So every day I'm living according to his purpose.
I'm Marie Nelson, and welcome to According to His Purpose. I'm with Lasijas, a Detroit designer, recording artist, dancer. He does it all. Welcome, Lasijas, to According to His Purpose.
Thank you.
Now, we're going to get right into what motivated you. How was your path to greatness? How did it start?
Well, what motivated me and what started my path to greatness, it just started from inspiration. It started from a dream and aspiring to want to be in the fashion industry. And taking the fashion design aesthetic and turning it into a stage production, to do big costume-like shows because of the inspiration that I got along the way within the industry from designers like Terry Mugler or the designers like Bob Mackie that designed for the big artists.
Now, there were those who didn't take you seriously. and we know how people are.
Yes.
But you did not allow negativity to be a part of your journey.
No, I didn't allow negativity to be a part of my journey. To me, the true belief of my journey, it wasn't started with negativity.
Okay.
So it didn't make sense to pursue it involving negativity.
That's right.
So just navigating day to day, and just through time to continue to connect those dots to opportunity, still while moving through the naysayers.
Were there any doors closed in your face and say, "Oh no, we don't like that. We don't."
So there were doors closed in my face, but I don't think the doors were closed in my face due to the design.
Okay.
Or due to the work.
Really?
I think the doors may have possibly been closed because I didn't maybe agree with the system of how they did things. So it may have caused me to say something or speak up.
That's
that
right.
Maybe was not in the interest of those around me. So
Okay.
yeah.
And you know, a lot of that is going on. We're hearing it every day.
Yeah.
But you didn't allow that to get in your way. In fact, it probably catapulted you to just take off running.
It did. It did. And it's funny that you say that because there were just a couple of experiences that I can remember. I won't name names, but when presenting my work, concepts, ideas, my plans, and what it was that I aspired to do, it seemed as if I had to negotiate more of a part of me that I was willing to. And then for them to inform me that, well, you should do something because the opportunity can only happen if it comes by way of me. And now that statement has happened by more than one person.
Yes.
So once I experienced it once and rejected it, and I heard it again from a different party, I then knew what was pretty much out there.
And you are not one to compromise yourself.
No.
Not at all.
No.
And I love your integrity. You cannot be bought. You have the talent.
Yeah.
You have the will, the drive. So why would I have to bend for something that you don't even know or have what I have?
Absolutely.
That just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Okay?
That's correct.
Who are your biggest supporters?
So my biggest supporters, I will say, are some family.
Okay.
I wouldn't say all. I will say some family, but my huge biggest support, it was from my late mother, who is deceased, and my late brother, who is also deceased. They were like my biggest promoters, and they were like really huge advocates behind my art, my vision, my intellect. You know, they really were intrigued and interested in the things that I presented, and they, you know, were by my side. And just various opportunities and things. I mean, it grew because I had to make it something that was repetitive. So within repetition, and they started to see that I was consistent in it, and they seen that they seen the results and what was turning up from me being consistent. Then they were like really all in, and then just traveling and transitioning in my life and watching them transition into another part of life, it just became sort of like a shadow. So I was ambitious still within doing fashion, but it became something that I just was using to cope.
Now, when you say cope, if I could get so personal,
Okay.
what are some of the things that you had to cope with? For instance.
Okay, so for instance, coping with losing my younger brother. Yeah, that was a huge tragedy. It was unknown. It was something that became a big mystery. So just trying to continue to live day to day and support those that were also affected, which was my mom, because she was affected by his death as well.
Absolutely.
And then also then later coping with the loss of my mom, because there she was like my next connection. She was like the person who was pretty much my next in rapport. I would always talk to constantly about my esteem if I was feeling down, or she would talk to me about just various things, or we would have like, you know, our moments where we just shared our experiences or reflecting on memory, and it just kind of became something that I just had to find a better way to live with, because after losing her, the conversation became there was just no conversation. Like, it became absent is what I'm trying to say. So that consistent phone call, that consistent checkup, or those moments of special light that's shared between you know, a mother
Between
and
a mother and a
son.
son,
It just didn't exist in the physical form anymore. So just finding ways to cope.
And you know, hearing what you're saying, your story, a lot of people don't realize that losing a loved one is very traumatizing. And they just, some can't move forward. Some just stay stuck where they are. But this helped you to move on, because your mom knew what she had in a son. She understood you. She knew how talented you were. And I don't think for 1 minute that you were going to let her down in her loss. Now, that's just my thoughts. So, you rose to the top. You're one of Detroit's hottest designers, okay? Don't be modest. But, you know, out of the ashes, as they say, here we are in your beautiful shop with your beautiful dresses. Now, what would you tell anyone who has gone through a loss like this, a parent, a brother, a sister, a best friend, how they could get back on the train and still move forward with the support that loved one left with them, what would you say to them? How would you help them to navigate? Because you did it very well.
I really do believe. Now I'm only speaking
Yes.
from my personal experience because I can't speak from no one else's
Exactly.
point of view, only mine. Personally, when thinking of losing a loved one, you don't want it to cross your mind. You're never prepared. I wasn't prepared. I'm still not prepared. And it's difficult trying to find the next step, but I still have a responsibility.
Yes.
One thing that I was taught growing up is the impact that we have on others is what's important when it comes to who we are when we exist with one another.
Yes.
My mom, she had a huge impact on me. So I think what helps me most are like the positive, the most rewarding moments that we spend together. And even times where I feel like I would want to hear, or I would wish to hear, or I would love to experience her presence again, something shows up, or something makes its way into appearing, like what's the word I'm trying to say? So it makes its way into existence.
Okay.
So it becomes, instead of me having the physical thought of me wishing or hoping that they were here, I get a sign or something. It's something that we share, a color.
Yes.
I get a glimpse of something. So that connection, it never goes away.
Okay.
And so I'm just, what I can say is, as advice is, just never give up on the connection. Giving up on the connection is almost like giving up on yourself. We are a part of each other.
Absolutely.
Always.
Always.
Dead or alive. Even my younger brother, like, you know, there are just small things that may come into existence. A sign. I may see something, a message or something that just crosses by the internet, and it's something that connects either to him or her. And so I think because I am so immersed into the fashion, it allows me to keep my head down and not be that distracted from things surrounding me. So having my head down within fashion and kind of still keeping with the same motivation, same ambition, and same prayer that I was using when they were alive, it just creates that longevity for me. Because I'm listening, and the way that you edify me is amazing. Speaking of greatness, and coming through the ashes, because I do find myself as being a man from Detroit. That's a part of our theme. Because Detroit has risen through the ashes, and I do believe that I am a man who is fond of the spirit, of Detroit when it comes to the work ethic, when it comes to the community involvement, when it comes to the fellowship. I do try my best to embody those things that represent Detroit, not just a man or a designer, but just as a human being altogether.
So you are living your purpose. You're living your purpose through design. You're making people happy about how they look and what they're wearing. And so you're touching lives here. And that is your purpose. So we're going to look at some of your designs. And I just want to say thank you for allowing me to celebrate you because you're quite a young man. And I am just so proud of you to see you come from something that was so hurtful and emotional, losing your brother, losing your mom, and just incorporating everything that they have ever told you or supported you with, to take that and be great.
Absolutely.
So we're going to show some designs, and you will see that toward the end of our content. And I want you to give the address or whatever platforms you're on,
Sure.
so that our guests can come by and see you.
Definitely.
Okay, so you can do that right now.
Okay, so I am here located at 19121 Livernois. It's the Avenue of Fashion, and we're here at the CDK Creative Creations Design Studio. It's a custom design studio. There are a host of designers here in this house, but I myself, Lasijas, am one of them.
Thank you so much. And thank you for joining me and Lasijas on According to His Purpose. And we'll see you next time. But stay tuned so that you can catch some of the beautiful designs. Love you much, and God bless.
Decided to bring in a collection.
Okay.
Just a small collection of pieces that I thought were special. And within these 5 pieces here, I have 4 dresses and a corset. Now starting here from this side, which would be from me facing right to left, I have a mesh dress that's detailed with mud cloth. It kind of brings out the protruding effect. Here I have like an evening party dress gown. So it's sort of like an evening dress, not a gown, a dress. It hits the floor, it's floor length. It has chiffon winged sleeves, and it's inspired by the kente cloth. So this here is an African print. I like working with the African prints only because it has an arrangement of colors. And it brings out just various elements with patterns. This is a cutout. Shape shifting. It's very risque.
But shoulder.
So I have, shoulder cutouts, sides, some stomach navel action here, and then also too with some cutouts here, just like along the sleeves, just to add more of a edgier effect. And then here I have a gold satin bias dress. I like this dress because this dress is made for any size. This dress here, it unties. And as you untie it, it opens a mold.
Okay.
It's a corset. And the elements are acrylic and leafing.
Okay.
So it's meant to have a liquefied aesthetic. So it's sort of like a frozen element. So that's what I was kind of like inspired by when I created that piece. And then here on the rack, we just have, we just have some men's pieces. So these are just sweaters that I've designed using the logo to my brand. And just kind of experimenting with different elements as far as like necklines, challenging myself with colors, and just using other elements to kind of bring out a design.
Now, what is your brand?
So the name of my brand is Nethadae. It's Nethadae. That's how you spell it. And the brand,
yes, I see that.
The brand is a phrase that we use every day here in the city. If you break the word down, it's N, the D.